Hello, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to today's cooking show where we'll be showing how the robotic system, the Moley robotic system will work. And I'll be showing how the containers, utensils and everything's loaded so you can see how it will cook this particular meal from start to finish. So today's recipe is going to be lamb keema. Now it's a very popular Indian dish and it's a very good favorite for a lot of people. And in fact, it's actually a favorite of one of mine. So it's a recipe that I cook from home. And it's a recipe that I gave our in-house chef, James Taylor, all the details of, together with the workflow and the ingredients and the method. And he's actually uploaded that together with the engineering team and loaded into the recipe library within a few hours. So it's my own recipe, and it's recipes that you can also do as well. So if you have your own recipes, those can also be loaded into the recipe library. So let's go straight into the recipe information on our interface, which is on a tablet here. And here we have the list of all the recipes. Now, all our recipes can be filtered in terms of if there's any dietary requirements or different cuisines around the world. You can actually filter your menu and select a recipe from those categories. So that's quite a good function to have. So it gives you access to lots of different cuisines from around the world. Also, these are the recipes that are from well-known chefs or some professionals that you have access to. So you're having a good quality access to a recipe at your fingertips, basically. So let's go straight into the lamb keema. So here we select it down the interface, and here we go, lamb keema. Now, on here we have the list of all the ingredients. I don't think you can see it quite clearly, but you'll see a list of all the ingredients, the equipment required to cook this particular recipe, and also nutritional facts as well. We also have get ingredients, where you can actually send a reminder to somebody's phone or your phone to get the ingredients fresh. And you also have a facility on there where you can send your order to a local delivery company like Waitrose, Sainsbury's, whoever the local delivery company is, to deliver these ingredients fresh to you. So let's go straight into the recipe. So we're going to start the robotic cook, and there is a very clear diagram of the whole workstation here, so it shows you exactly where to load the containers. And here at the bottom we'll start with the ingredients. So the first ingredient is going to be the brown onions. Now you probably hear a bit of music and some voice information in the background. So we've got a voice notification. So throughout the whole cooking process, you have notification by voice of each of the processes it takes for cooking the recipe. So here we've got a diagram of how the onions should be chopped and also the weights. Now we have an integrated scale system. So we have the scale separated, which is connected, and you simply put a special container, which are these containers here, onto the scale, and you can actually get the exact quantities on the integrated scale system. So first item here on the recipe is brown onions and butter. So I've already prepped some of these ingredients just to save a bit of time, but I'll show you how we load that. And the actual ingredients need to be prepped manually, and that doesn't take too long. And all those ingredients have been freshly delivered this morning, so we're using fresh ingredients for this. So there we go. So here we go. So the actual brown onions and the butter is now indicated on our shelving system here. So it's indicated with an LED light to tell me where it's recommended. And I mean, it can really go anywhere, but this is a recommended spot, which is the #1 spot on the top shelf. So here are my onions and the butter, and that's going to go on the top shelf there. And you simply do that with all the ingredients now. So here we've got the ginger root, the garlic, and the bird's eye chili, and that's going to go on the second location. There we go. Confirm. And so on. This is the large container, which will have the ground cumin seeds, garam masala, ground turmeric, chili powder, ground pepper, Maldon sea salt, curry leaves, cinnamon, and the lamb mince itself. And that's already in the large container, and that's going to go on the bottom shelf as indicated with the LED light system. Then we have the tomato puree with the Worcester sauce, the dark soya and water. Now these are some of the ingredients that are quite secret. Well, they're our family secret. In fact, this recipe was actually taught by my own dad. So my dad taught me this recipe, and it's a recipe that I've been cooking for many, many years in the family. And it's a traditional family recipe brought into our recipe library, which is amazing. And it can be shared around the world as well. So here we go with the sauce and tomato puree. That's going to be located at the bottom left side. So tall container, left side, as indicated by the LED lights. It's confirmed. And then we've got the spinach. We've got freshly chopped spinach, and that's going to go on the top shelf. Confirm. And then we've got peas, which is top shelf as indicated. Give it a bit of a shake. There you go. Confirm. And then we've got the olive oil. Now the olive oil will just come from a normal oil dispenser. The LED light's on there. It's all loaded. Yeah, it's all ready. Got plenty of oil in there. And that's ready to go, so I'll confirm. And that's basically all my ingredients prepped, so that didn't take too long at all. Now it's going to ask me just to position my equipment and making sure it's in the right position there. So the first item is the medium pot. Medium pot's in position. Yep, it's in the bracket, and it's nice and level on the hob. Second item is the spatula on the hook, number one position. Yep. Now the diagram is very important because it shows you exactly which way the spatula should be facing. So like I say, the system here is very informative and to making sure you get a proper stir of all your ingredients. So on number one hook, and that's confirmed. So there we go, let's start cooking. You've got an indication on here. It tells you that the robot will start moving immediately. We just make sure the cooking area is free from any unnecessary items. Yep, nothing in the area. I'll move my laptop across. And it gives me also the time, the duration of the whole cooking process, which is around about 40 minutes. So let's go and start cooking. Now you can probably hear it, it's just engaging. The system is getting ready, and it will start the cooking process.
Switch hob on.
There we go, there's your voice notification that it's about to turn the hob on. Now the hob is a Moley hob. It's got a downdraft extractor, which goes through recirculating and comes out as fresh air. And also the downdraft extractor that can also be ducted onto an external wall as well. So it can either go through the plinth,
set hob to 6,
through the actual grill as fresh air, or it can be going through to an external wall straight out. Now let me just put this down for a second whilst you hear the notifications in the background. Today we're going to be on Instagram and YouTube, so please do send in any questions that you have, and I'll be happy to try and answer them live on the chat here. If there's anything a bit too technical, or if it's something I can't answer straight away, then I'll get a member of our team to give you a call. You can just go to our website, go to our contact us page, and send in your details, any questions, even if you have any recipes, things like that, please do get in touch. So let's just pop onto Instagram and Facebook. Let's just see if we've got any questions. Welcome everybody. Yeah, brilliant. So, so this robotic arm, industrial level, is already tested for 35,000 hours. So in a residential environment, this could run without any issues at all for about 10 years. We do provide a warranty that can be extended, and we also have a service plan as well that can be taken out. So these models here you see here, this is our X-Air model, and we also have our B-Air model just behind me, and also our chef's table. These are all our residential designs, and they can all be integrated into a new kitchen design, or we can incorporate the actual robotic system, for example, the chef's table, into an existing kitchen. You only need a space of about 1.2 by 1.2, and it's a simple plug-in and 220-volt plug, and the system is ready to go. The actual power consumption, say for example, an average use, an hour's use, only uses about 100 watts of energy, so it's very energy efficient as well.
Stir 1.
There we go, the first stir is going to happen. So the onions went in together with the butter. It's going to start stirring. Now all the movements and the manipulations are exactly as a chef would be cooking this particular recipe. So all the scraping, the stirring, the amount of stirring required, and the scraping of the spatula you'll see in a moment is everything that the chef would have been doing when cooking this recipe. So as I mentioned, please do send in any questions you may have, and I'll try and answer them live on the chat here. So you've probably heard the notification. We also have a flagging system on our interface. So the flagging system also tells you when it's about to stir, when it's about to pour. It's going to indicate the next action required for the recipe. We also have a percentage of how far down the recipe you've gone. So say, for example, if you're working from home, or if you're at home with a family or friends entertaining and you just want to hear what's going on in the kitchen, you might be cooking this meal for them. You can actually hear and see how far down the recipe goes. So you can keep an eye on the kitchen without physically having to be in the kitchen itself. Also gives you the time indication as well. So already we're 4.4 minutes in. It's a 47-minute recipe, so we're 10% already into the recipe itself.
Stir 3.
So the stirring is about 4 stirs on this recipe, because the onions have to be really nicely browned. So again, the timing of all the cooking operations on this particular recipe were given to James, and he gave all the information then to our engineers. Our engineers then loaded all the algorithms and all the different manipulations required to make sure the recipe is cooked exactly the way I cook it at home. So here from our showroom here, Wigmore Street in central London. If you are local, you're more than welcome to visit us here. You can see on a regular basis every day we're doing a demo of recipes throughout the whole day. We also do design meetings here as well, so if you have specific requirements, you can come in with your details, with some plans and information about your kitchen, or you can send it through on the contact us page via the website. And we can start the design process, discuss your requirements in more detail, look at any designs and any plans and so on, and also go through all the different models. So as I mentioned, this is our XAir model. So combined with our AI state-of-the-art technology, we also partner with some of the best Italian manufacturers, one being Minotti. And they make for us all the units in terms of the base units, the wall units, whether you're going for a back-to-wall system with a peninsula. You could even have this on an island system as well. So if you've got a large open plan kitchen, you can position the actual robotic system on the island itself, so making it like a focal point for your kitchen design. Behind me we have the B Air model, which is back to wall, so it is if you've got a long galley kitchen, You can more or less incorporate that kind of design, giving you lots of space in the kitchen itself, but still giving you robotics against the wall and making it a bit more compact. And then to my left behind me, you'll see the chef's table. This is one of our new models, just arrived. We're just about to finish installation of this model, and that's a standalone system, and that can be positioned anywhere in the kitchen, or even some sort of feature wall. So you may already have the kitchen, open plan living, but you've got a bit of wall space where you want to showcase and feature the robotic cooking system. You can have that simply against the wall, just plugged in. And that's a great, not only is it entertaining to look at, but it's also very educational as well, because you're learning about recipes from around the world. It's the kind of recipes that you wouldn't probably even consider on a regular basis, but just going into our interface, going into our library, filtering the menu, picking a country of cuisine, and even having the ingredients delivered, or you just get the ingredients fresh yourself. I mean, we encourage you actually to get the ingredients yourself, because you can actually pick the freshest of the fresh in terms of making sure you get the best out of your ingredients. So let's see if we've got any questions to start off with. That's great, nothing at the moment, so it's like your guys are more engaged in seeing the actual recipe being cooked. So here the garlic and the ginger and the chilies have just gone in. Now it's good to cook the chilies through, which gives you the nice bit of spice in the whole recipe. And that's now just gone in, and that's going to be cooked through as well before the next process.
Spatula.
So, as I mentioned, we do lots of different cuisines from around the world. We do Chinese, Italian, Spanish, Indian, Thailand, Korean. We do lots of different recipes from well-known chefs as well. We've got for example, French cuisine from Andrew Clark. So we've got quite a few of his recipes. We've got some Persian dishes as well from Atozo Safir. Also Tim Anderson, one of the Master Chef runners-up. We have quite a few of his recipes in our library. So these recipes are really high quality, good quality chef's recipes. And also cooked exactly the way they would cook it as well. Also Nick Giovanni, he's been in Thai Dien Pham from Vietnam, so that's great. With Nick Giovanni, we did actually two recipes, and he actually blind tested both, and he couldn't tell the difference between the robotic cook and the actual hand-cooked recipe. So that shows you how the level and the quality of these recipes are extremely high. And also by cooking like this, you've got consistency as well, so you know exactly how everything is going to be the result of every single recipe. You know exactly how it's going to taste. But saying that, for example, in this recipe, they are fully customizable as well. So, for example, I put garlic and ginger. There are a lot of people who don't eat garlic or who don't have onions. So you can simply substitute some of the onions with another ingredient. You can substitute the garlic with something else. Or just have no garlic at all. It doesn't stop the robotic system to cook. It will still cook and do the whole process from scratch. So here we've got the minced lamb about to go in. This has already got the spices in there mixed in nicely with the curry leaves and so on. And that's all dropped in the tap in, and everything is very important to make sure it optimizes in terms of delivering the ingredients in the pot. So that is all done nicely. and there's no wastage as well, so less wastage is possible. Now, together with all the other recipes, we also focus on healthy recipes as well. One of our biggest criteria and something that we aim to do is making sure that a system can deliver you healthy meals. This is backed up by lots of studies done around the world, the Global Food Research Program, and in particular the actual program done by North Carolina, Chapel Hill, the University of North Carolina. They completed lots of studies against eating from restaurants and takeaways, against cooking fresh at home. Now, unfortunately, from takeaways and restaurants and delivery companies that deliver lots of different meals, they have a very high content of saturated fat and also a high level of ultra-processed foods. So cooking like this with the same kind of recipes, there's actually, cooking like this more regularly, you've got a 6% less chance of cancer. You've got about a 48% less chance of diabetes and almost 60% less chance of kidney diseases as well. So by cooking like this more regularly, cooking fresh, using a system like this, actually can add a longevity to your life, can add about 10 to 11 years to your life just by cooking fresh like this. Also, in terms of the cost, our systems start from about £80,000 up to about £110,000, depending on the architecture of your kitchen, with some of the examples that you see just behind me. Now, we also looked at different studies done by other universities, also the University of Toronto, and they did studies in comparison in terms of cost as well. And they did a sort of like test study on a family of four, an average family of four, cooking meals regularly, and also how often they ate from takeaways and restaurants. And they were spending in the region of, I'm talking about thousands of pounds. They were spending like 20, 30, 40,000 pounds almost on takeaways and per year. Whereas cooking like this, for example, a spaghetti bolognese from a good restaurant or a good takeaway establishment here in the UK can cost between 15 to 18 pounds. Now, using those same ingredients, the actual cost of those ingredients together with all the spices and other elements required for that recipe actually only cost about 5 to 6 pounds. But in return, you're getting a much healthier recipe, a lot less salt, a lot less sugar, a lot less of the saturated fat. Obviously, it's not ultra processed, and you're getting much more of a healthy meal. So the return on your investment within about 2 to 3 years, it would be quite rapid. You would really get your return on your investment in a very short period. So very cost effective to have a system like this. Also, some of the elements, obviously we do, the main focus here is on residential kitchens, but we've also seen on the commercial side how people prepare in the commercial environment, how food is stored, how food is prepared, and nearly most of the time, a lot of the ingredients are either frozen, they have to be to make it commercially viable because they have to make sure the ingredients and some of these products last long, so have a long shelf life. Now, because having a long shelf life, they have to introduce a lot of different types of chemicals and additives and preservatives to their food. And as most of it's frozen or gets delivered to them frozen, you can imagine that the health impact on those kind of foods is quite diabolical in terms of the saturated fats, the salt level, and so on. So by cooking those sort of meals, using a system like this with the same kind of ingredients is a lot healthier. Let's pop onto the different types of media pages and let's see if we've got any questions in. Okay, good. So you just saw the actual lamb, minced lamb go in with the spices. Now there will be a period on this particular recipe where it's going to be simmering for a few minutes, and again I'll talk about some frequently asked questions that we get, and I'll explain as much as I possibly can. Like I say, contact us page on our website. You'll see lots of the different models on there, lots of examples of how you can design the kitchen, because not only do we do the kitchen, the units partnered with Minotti, we also do all the different work surfaces as well. We do the Phoenix work surface, which is the one that we supply with all our kitchens. Now this material is very, very durable in terms of the heat resistancy. It's a very thin 12 mil, almost like a laminate reused materials, and basically it's thermally bonded, and it's a very, very versatile material. Helps us to create a nice worktop that gives you the accurate installation for the robotic system. It's also, this Phoenix material is also made from recycled paper as well. So it's a massive environmentally product that we have in terms of being conscious of the environment and making sure we use something that's recycled. So highly environmentally friendly and also highly durable as well. Available in lots of different finishes, lots of different colors to complement some of the furniture. We do wood veneer, we do high gloss lacquered, we do a vertical lined and slatted wood design with our veneers in a dark wood, light wood, grey wood, oak veneer, honey oak, and lots of different colors there. Just behind me at the back, you'll see the blue kitchen. Now with that one, that model uses an integrated oven. So we are beta testing some oven recipes, and we're about to load these recipes into the library once they're fully beta tested. So not only does the robotic system cook on the hob, but it will also be able to cook in the oven as well. So if there's certain recipes like chocolate brownies, or after you've seared your meat, you want to finish the cooking in the oven, things like that, it's able to do that as well. So here the minced lamb has gone in. Now, as I mentioned, it's going to be doing some of the simmering. So it's going to be simmering for a little while. And the indicator on here is telling me that we are approximately...
Place spatula back.
Yep, it's placed the spatula back. That's great. We're almost halfway through the recipe. We're 45% of the way through. And in about another minute or so, it may do a stir and continue simmering, so it really cooks the meat through, and that's quite important to make sure the meat is cooked properly. So like I say, the timings and everything is done exactly like the chef would, which was in this case myself. This is exactly how I cooked it at home. It's exactly how I would cook it at home, and the result is exactly the same. Okay, let's see if there's any questions. No questions at the moment. So some of the frequently asked questions that we do get in about our system is things like, do the ingredients need to be prepared by the user before starting a recipe? Yes, it does. And the reason why we encourage you getting the ingredients yourself is you can use the freshest of the fresh, basically. So you can always go and pick your fresh ingredients to make this particular recipe even more healthier. And then you simply prepare. Now the guidance on the interface shows you how you should be chopping the onions, whether they're just simply sliced or they're small diced or medium diced and so on. All the information is on the interface. So as soon as you start the actual recipe, you follow the step-by-step system. It tells you exactly how to prep each ingredient. So yes, that's done manually and loaded on the shelves. Now all these containers are dishwashable, so once the recipe is finished, the cleaning process is very minimal. The actual robotic arm itself is a sealed unit, so that just needs a wipe down with a fiber cloth, for example. Now, because the actual cooking process is so accurate, there's a lot less mess than you would normally have cooking this recipe by yourself manually. So once the recipe is finished, the actual hob may just need a little wipe down and ready for the next meal or ready for the next day. So cleaning process wise is very minimal. When all the ingredients are loaded and the robotic system is cooking and finishing off the meal, I can actually be doing something else with my time. So using my time more effectively. So not only is this saving me time, but I'm able to use the time more effectively and maybe put the containers in a dishwasher, start clearing up. This is cooking for me. It's like having my own chef in the kitchen. I'm clearing the table, clearing the kitchen, setting the table to have the meal. I could be entertaining, I could have had friends, or it could be an evening where I'm just doing homework with my children and I want to save myself time, so I could be sat with my children, releasing quality time, so I could be doing some homework with them, for example. So this really is such a benefit in terms of general use for daily use. Also, by having all this background work and all the cleaning done in terms of all the dishwashing and so on, it really just means I have to enjoy my meal. And psychologically, that will give me more time and make me feel a lot better because I can enjoy my meal. I can take my time. I don't have to rush to think I have to finish my meal, go back in the kitchen and clear up. That process has already been done. So I'm able to psychologically enjoy my meal a lot more. So making the whole recipe a lot more nicer to eat. So another frequently asked question is on the safety side, is what if my pet jumps in the kitchen whilst this is operating? Well, simply you can press the kill switch. So we have the safety button right in the front of the hob. Now this is required. Our product is CE marked for UK and Europe and meets all the iOS safety standards, safety of machinery, safety of collaboration, and so on. And basically you'll have that on all our models. So there's a kill switch safety button on all our models positioned right at the front of the kitchen. So if anything like that was to happen, you have to have the safety button there just in case. Another frequently asked question is what are the lead times? So when somebody wants to go ahead and order one, we can place the order, and the normal time for that is about 3 to 6 months delivery time. In the UK, we can also do installation, so we have a team that can install the system and also the engineers that can install the robotic part as well. For USA and for Far East, because we're certified for UK and Europe, for the Far East and for the US, it's X-Works, which means that we can still send out to those countries, X-Works, which means that you'll be responsible just for the shipping or the air freight. But we can still do everything else. We can support you with the relevant documents for the export, and we can also support you in terms of the installation. Now, this actual arm itself is already in about 90,000 different applications around the world. So worldwide support on this is not a problem. We'll always find a local partner to help us either maintain service or attend to the system if required. So we'll have a local partner that can help with this as well. It's already used in lots of different laboratories, lots of different industries, from engineering industries to production industries. So it's already been used. It's already active in 90,000 different applications around the world. Also, another question we get asked is, can the system be retrofitted into an existing kitchen? The answer to that question is more or less yes, it can be retrofitted in, as long as you've got the space required. So we would just double check and make sure you do have the space. We would just ask you to send in your plan of the kitchen or some detailed information, or even come into the showroom with the actual information, and we'll find the best possible solution to integrate this into your existing kitchen. The actual depth of the kitchen for the robotic system is slightly deeper than the standard. The minimum depth requirement is about 750 mm, 750 millimeters, 75 centimeters. So that's the minimum requirement for our BM model. The standalone model is about 120 centimeters, 1200 millimeters approximately a square. And well, the XL on the island is fine, because that island can be a small island with just a side attachment for seating, or it can be purely just standalone chef's table on the island, independent from the kitchen itself. So we're 61%. It's about to do another stir, and you'll probably hear the voice notification. So you'll hear it in a second.
Stir.
So this voice activation is very useful. So I think, like I mentioned before, you could be in another part of the house. You could take this interface with you so you can see and hear what's going on. A lot of people now doing a lot of hybrid working and working from home. So and then not necessarily can't be in the kitchen all the time. So they want to attend to some of the work on their laptop or emails and so on. So you can take this interface with you, so you can have it on the side, maybe even have it on silent, but you can see the percentage of how far it's cooked, so you can keep an eye from the interface of the kitchen without being in the kitchen itself. Also, some other frequently asked question we get is, what if something happens? What types of errors can happen, and how does a kitchen deal with this? So, if there is an error, say for example, if the utensil was missing from the hook, the interface will notify you that there is an error, or there is a system error with either the utensils or the containers. And you simply just go into the kitchen area, go into the zone, making sure that everything's in position. So you will get a notification from the interface that there is an error. The system will pause. If there is an issue with some of the stirring, or if some of the food gets stuck with the spatula and so on, it will pause, it will do an emergency stop, and you'll be informed of the emergency stop. You simply go to the interface, you select resume, it will go back into the safe position, and then it will carry on with the cooking process. We do have also a vision system. You'll probably see some cameras just positioned under the shelves. Now this is basically just giving us an overview. That gives an overview of the whole area. That also just makes sure that everything is in the right position as well. Let's see if there's any further questions on our website. Still no interface there. No, okay. So another question we do get asked is, how many portions can the kitchen cook? So on average, most of the pots here, these Rafoni induction pots that we use, have been designed for an average of about 3 to 4 servings. But we do have an icon on the actual recipe where you can simply select the amount of people you want to serve for. So it automatically then calculates the amount of ingredients required, and then you simply just prep and load for the amount required. So there is an indicator on the interface about the servings that you can have. But in general, most of the average serving is about 3 to 4, depending on the type of recipe. Sometimes it's about 2 to 3, so 3 to 4 is about the average. So here we've got the spinach that's just gone in. So that, again, the meat and the sauce and everything will slightly simmer and cook through into the spinach. And as you can see on the shelf, the final ingredient will be the peas, but peas don't take too long to cook. These are petit pois peas, so, and they already have been defrosted, so they're all freshly made ready there to go in. So that will go in towards the end of the cooking process. Also, another frequently asked question is, can I see the calories and nutritional information of each recipe? Yes, you can. As I showed you earlier, when you're selecting your recipe and you choose a recipe, automatically you get the options on the left where you can see the ingredients. You can also see the actual equipment required to make the recipe. And also the last icon on there is nutritional information. And as soon as you press that, you'll get a full list of the amount of carbohydrates, the amount of sodium, which is your salt, the fat content, protein content. So you'll get all that information for every single recipe as well. So if you're on some sort of weight management program, or if you're on some diet management program, you can really keep a close eye on every recipe and see exactly what ingredients and what levels of certain ingredients that you have as well. Also, we get asked, can the kitchen cook in 2 pots? Yes, it can. So, for example, pasta pomodoro or puttanesca or seafood linguine, we can actually make the sauce in 1 pot, and in parallel we can make the pasta or the tagliatelle in the 2nd pot. And I mentioned earlier that it's energy efficient, so it will only be using the actual pot for the water with the mesh basket only when it's required. So it will turn it on when it's required, it will heat the water rapidly, get to boiling point, turn it down, pasta or the tagliatelle goes in, few minutes to cook, and then the pot is turned off. So that's saving energy. And then once that's cooked, it will then take it to the main pot, pour it, stir it, and have the recipe ready for yourself. So yes, it can do 2 pots in parallel as well. So let's have a look, see how far we are down the recipe.
Tip in the spinach.
So the spinach was already tipped in, that's great.
Stir.
So done the stir as well, and we're about 76% of the way through, so we're almost 3/3 of the way through, 1/3 of the way through, which is good. And the last action on here is telling me here that in about the 42-minute mark, it will be tipping in the peas. Now, for example, I know it's 42 minutes and it's a 47-minute recipe, so I know I can try set the table, I can prepare for the dinner as soon as the peas go in, because I've got about 5 minutes to prep everything, get the kids in or get my friends to come to the table, get ready to eat this meal. And so basically having this information is really good, so it helps me time manage my recipe and the dinner or lunch much more effectively. And as I mentioned before, we get asked, can I add my own recipes? Yes, you can. As you see, this is my own recipe. If you have your own, you just simply send us the list of the ingredients, a little workflow diagram, possibly even a small video of how you cook the meal. The information is then given to James, our chef, in-house chef, who will then design that recipe around the sort of like the movements and the manipulations and all the different parameters that the robotic system has. give that information to our engineers, and within a few hours, that recipe is in our library. So yes, that can be done without no problems at all. Okay, so simmering away nicely simmered. So 81% complete. So we're nearly to the end of the cooking process. Like I say, if you do have any questions, please do send us via the contact us page. You can send in your request, even send in your designs. You can even come to the showroom. Now, if there's a design meeting you'd like to arrange in the showroom, that's not a problem, but we'd also like to offer a complimentary recipe demo as well. So when you come to the showroom, we'll actually show you a recipe being cooked right in front of you, so you can see exactly how the system would be in your own place, and how it will cook the meals, and how you can see what the final result is as well. Test it for yourself. So we're open Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you can give us an email, send us an email, or even give us a call on 0207 183 2186, and we'll be able to arrange an appointment, and even send you maybe some sort of recipe list, and ask for your dietary requirements. So making sure we address any allergies and so on. And you can tell us what you'd like, and we can arrange a meeting here in the showroom to discuss your design, and also you can have a freshly cooked meal as well. So those famous chefs that I mentioned before that we have recipes from, we've also had Andreas Caminada. He's a very famous Swiss recipe. So we have quite a few of his recipes. The carbonara, for example, that's a very popular one. And also had Uncle Roger, famous Korean chef. His fried rice recipe. He's also been into the showroom, and he was actually quite fun to deal with. And we had a good time filming his recipe as well. So we aim to actually put about 3 to 4 new recipes per month. And James is our recipe creator and designer for all the different recipes. And on average, we do about 3 to 4 new recipes per month. So 87% of the way in. As I mentioned, the next action will be the last ingredient, which is the peas. The actual lamb keema is simmering away nicely. I can see it exactly here, perfectly. And also, I'll taste it as well in front of you guys, so you can see and see my response, exactly how it tastes. But I've tasted this quite a few times, and it's spot on all the time. It's so consistent, even don't really need to even taste it, but for you guys I'm going to show live on the chat, but I know exactly what it's going to taste like, because the system here is very consistent with every single recipe. We could even do risotto and paella. Now risotto is a very long recipe. Risotto takes 55 minutes to cook, but all the containers will have all the stock, because there's a lot of stock stirring, but the system is taking care of the whole process from scratch. and for 55 minutes, I could carry on with my work. I could take the dog for a walk. I can spend more time with my family, have an extra glass of wine with my friends, and it really does benefit people in terms of time. So there you go, the quick little tap of the peas, and the peas have gone in, so that's the final ingredient. We're 90% of the way through. Now this will just simmer a little bit more, just cook through to the peas. We don't want to overcook the peas. So again, this is time to make sure that the peas are cooked perfectly. Most people don't like overcooked peas because the peas will start shrinking, and you don't want to undercook them. But the time it's going to be taking now, which is the last 4 minutes, is exactly how much time the peas need to cook. Not only is it that they'll be cooking, but they'll be cooking in the rich masala sauce as well, together with the lamb keema. And it smells great, by the way, guys. Okay, let's check to see if there's any further questions on any of our media pages. Okay, nothing there at the moment, that's good. And that's it, that's probably the last action. Now it will tell me when it's about to turn the hob off, so I know it's ready, and it will notify me from the interface. Let's see if there's any further questions. As I mentioned before, it's time saving. Just to give you a little bit of a fact in terms of the actual freed up time, it actually frees up time. Say, for example, frees up time up to 45 to 1 hour per meal. So basically, that's 93 saved days within a 5-year period. So 93 days of time is saved over the 5-year period by having the system like this cook for you. That's incredible. So 96%, we're almost done. It's 45 minutes in, and we've got 47 minutes total with the recipe duration. And in a couple more minutes, this recipe will be complete. I'm just going to prepare my special bowl and my spoon and fork ready for this. So I'll show you, and I'll also taste it in front of you, so you know it's exactly what it's cooked and exactly how it tastes as well. So my fork is ready. Spoon is ready. This is actually my lunch for today. I know it's a bit of a late lunch, but this is great. This is a late lunch. This is a lunch worth waiting for, to be honest with you. Now, as I mentioned also before, the recipes are customizable. Some people may not like lamb. They may prefer minced beef or even minced pork. So you can simply substitute the actual ingredient. It will still cook it for you exactly the same way, same times, same timings and everything. So you really customize some of these recipes and tweak the ingredients, add or take away whatever you want. But the cooking process won't stop. It will still cook the whole recipe for you. That's how adaptable the whole system is. So we should be almost complete.
Turn hob off.
There we go, turn the hob off. the last action that the robotic arm, which the system will do itself, and it will tell me that it's finished, and we can then taste the dish. It's going to check.
Recipe cooking finished.
There we go. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Let's have a look, see if there's any further questions. No questions on here at the moment. Okay, that's great. So let's. So that means let's give this a taste, and I'll give you my my honest opinion on that as well straight away. There we go. That's really nicely cooked. Perfect. Exactly what I receive in a restaurant. So as you can see, I can still have the peas. The peas are perfectly cooked. The sauce is lovely. All the meat is cooked. And I'm just going to give it a bit of a taste test now. Lovely. Just the right amount of spice as well. I can really taste those chilies in there. Well, thanks again for joining me this week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for a new recipe. But in the meantime, hope you enjoy watching this. Again, if you've got any further questions, contact us on the via the website. Send in your details, and one of the team members will get back to you. And in the meantime, have a great weekend, and I'll see you in a few weeks' time. Goodbye.